Relatable YouTubers have faced mass extinction. And what I mean by that is, for example, we have this dude with a foot fetish. Okay, that's an extreme example. Let's try this again. We have this dude with a perfectly normal, non-questionable interest. Just sharing his love for his hobbies, and you're sitting there like, damn, I relate to this guy. Yeah, that's something I haven't experienced for a while now. Not only on YouTube, but almost every other social media platform out there. Not even a while back you could watch some person play a game or just a storytime YouTuber and feel connected to their content. Why? Because it feels like watching a friend doing stuff you're interested in. Now it feels like you're watching a soulless corporation, or worse, a robot. So today I will be rambling some of my complaints about the influencers nowadays. Like and subscribe if you can relate. So, here's the first issue. They're just fake as hell. You're telling me I should relate to this guy? The same dude that earns millions a year, living in this luxury building, driving his luxury car with his 4 wives? Alright, I might be exaggerating, but you get my point. They're rich, and that makes my ass very jealous. But what annoys me is that some of them still act like they are working a 9 to 5 in McDonald's, acting as if they are still earning a minimum wage, leading this average life, and saying they hate the rich despite them being part of the rich. Right, Pokimane?
Men and women, we love each other.
Thanks.
And we hate the rich.
I sounded very extreme, but that's just a personality I force out for engagement reasons. AKA what every YouTuber are required to do nowadays because of you, which I will get to later. Speaking of personality, that's what annoys me more. Like bro, we can clearly see that you're being held at gunpoint because of these sponsors. I don't criticize creators for chasing the bag. I would too, but do not expect your relatability to stay intact. This issue also depends on the niche you're in. For example, the gamers don't really have this issue quite as much, because the focus is more on the games they play than their personal lives. But then we, for example, have these storytime animation channels that really rely heavily on their personal lives. They start off talking about their high school times and how much they hated it as an introvert, which, let's be honest, literally every single one of them is an introvert for some reason. But after telling their entire life story, most run out, except if they're this doofus being a public nuisance. And then after running out, they're forced to move on to new stuff like animating their world tour. Cool, but how am I, this broke young adult, supposed to relate? And then moving on to the vloggers, which probably suffer the most from this issue. All of whom start off as this normal person that has this bubbly personality just going through their average life. But once they make it big, we're met with them driving this McLaren on their way to their massive ass mansion. A titan of a building that contains a swimming pool inside of a swimming pool, a cinema in the basement, and 5 cute maids with cat ears serving them 24/7. So, for the thousands of time, who the f*** relates to this? And then there's also a pattern with this specific type of creator. They inevitably do something stupid, which causes them to make this half-assed apology video. Those are just a few examples of niches that require personality and relatability to get big. But then we also have some others like those informational channels being all serious and stuff, and that's fine in some cases, but not what I'm looking for. This is a pattern I've noticed with most YouTube channels that make it big. Though, it's not completely their fault, and I'm not dunking them for it. Okay, maybe a little. As again, they're forced to make these changes to sustain their branding. And some might be looking at my direction and ask me, wouldn't the same happen if I make it big? I hope not, but I won't make any promises. And I'm also not 100% sure that I'll get to that point. But anyway, we have this other issue that makes relatability even harder. Alright, it's time to hear the same complaint for thousands of times. Fuck AI. I'm sick and tired of seeing it everywhere. And if I thought the relatability was already at rock bottom, AI content gave it a pickaxe and dug it even deeper. It's already hard enough to relate to a dude that is big enough to buy my entire family twice. But robots? First of all, we have the thumbnails. And I'm not gonna lie, I do get tired of seeing thumbnails like these, but at least they have a human touch behind it, right? Unlike these ones. And as if the thumbnails weren't bad enough, every goddamn time when I find an interesting video, I hear the same few voices every goddamn time. Let me give some examples.
For every beloved family channel, there's a hated one that's a disaster off camera.
Football theories you've probably never thought of. Cristiano Ronaldo has never had a beard and he's never done a rainbow flick either.
This simple act of kindness reminds us that helping others spreads goodness in the world.
Sometimes they do attempt to make a joke, but it just feels like it belongs at a funeral. And lastly, it sucks worse cock to cause myself a burnout trying to upload weekly But then there are people out there that are uploading their high quality videos pretty darn fast due to the tech. It just doesn't feel authentic anymore. And without authenticity, you can also forget relatability. Though, it's not only the creator's fault, it's also you, which I'll get to right now. So YouTube has this algorithm. The more watch hours you get, the more it gets pushed. Which means that these AI videos aren't just getting recommended out of nowhere. It means that we have these knuckleheads that consume these videos, causing them to get big. For example, this video, over 1 million views despite it having AI elements. Really, guys? Why can't you give me all of that? Alright, but you guys see where I'm going with this, right? If relatable content had much demand, people would have watched it more and would have caused this massive push. But it seems like the demand for relatability has dropped. People would rather see someone with a fake and obnoxious personality screaming every time they have a chance than a person with an average personality. People would rather see a high quality video made by a team than to see an individual channel doing everything themselves. And then we also have people that consume AI content for some reason. Alright, I'm exaggerating a lot in this video. Relatable content hasn't disappeared completely. There are real channels that try to be as authentic as possible, but most of the time they perform terribly. And I wanted to present to you guys a solution, but it doesn't seem like there's much demand for that, so I won't do it. Okay, fine, I'll give in. I'll do it. It's pretty simple. Just find a small channel that you can relate to because of their hobbies, personality, or narrating or whatever. Click on that video and watch the whole thing. Because if you don't, then watch hours won't go up and that makes the creator very sad. After that, you need to like and subscribe to them, pray that other people join in on it, and then after that, you need to pray even harder that they don't become a sellout. But before you do all that, practice makes perfect. So practice it on my channel to become a master at making small channels grow. And then you can do it to someone else. And you guys might be asking now, did I seriously make an entire yapping session instead of saying like and subscribe? Yes. Yes, I did. Alright, see ya.